Well, I'm joined by Sarah Johnson, the Silver Lake volleyball coach for our 13 Sports Coach Show, another show here. So, Coach, really appreciate you joining me today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Vince.
Of course. Well, Coach, I know you're not used to not winning at all and at Silver Lake, and you guys go into the state tournament this past year and had a really great group of seniors. We know how decorated they were, and just in volleyball, basketball, softball. Seems like they've made the state tournament for everything. It seems like in the last couple of
Yeah.
years. So, when you look back at last season, Coach, and knowing, Mackenzie, Cabrin, McKinley, just to name a few. Um, what was it like coaching that senior group?
Um, they're one of those few classes that's just like full of grit, they're just a gritty group and they were on a mission, I think, all year long in all of their sports. And they're just fun to coach. They're highly competitive. They have high expectations for themselves and others. And they were on a mission and I was on board with it.
So when you have a group like that, where let's say you may not have to teach them a whole lot, if you will, they kind of maybe run it themselves, or they know what the expectations are, and they know what you expect out of them. Does that make your job easier as a coach when you have players like that know what they expect or what you expect?
Yeah, I think there's aspects of it that does make it easier. It's also volleyball's an interesting sport. So just because one person or even the few people, the seniors, had this mentality, it took all of us on that court. And we had some subs coming in, we had some younger girls. So I did have to work with that group, just like, hey, yeah, we got to get everybody on board. So we got to learn how to lead, and we can't just do it ourselves. So that was fun, and it's always growth there for even those high excel kids.
So let me ask, and I know when you were obviously excited to have this group and you make the state tournament, and how hard is it going to be to replace them or fill those shoes, if you will, right? It's really hard to replace, a group like that. How do you, as
Sure.
a coach now, try to replace or fill those shoes of, 4 to 5 players that, now are at the college level?
I Right. Yeah, they kind of remind me of that class back in 2015. Well, they were the 2016 graduation class of like Taylor White's and Maddie's and like that group. And I was like, oh, how are we going to replace this? Right? Like these high excel kids, like they just were highly competitive, and you figure it out. They've had girls that they're playing with all these years. I've got this summer has been great. I've got some girls that are really stepping into some roles, and I'm excited. And they've been playing at that level because they've had leaders there. So I'm it's going to be a different group like it always is, but yeah, I think we're up for the challenge. So
So what are those adjustments like? Because every player has their strengths and their weaknesses, and you obviously have to know in certain situations what plays you got to draw up, what
mm,
maybe player to get it on the outside or the libero. I
mm,
mean, there's so many different things that you could do in the game of volleyball. So what are those adjustments like for you when you have to
yeah.
adjust maybe on the fly like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like last year was pretty well rounded in our attacking. I think when one person was like off that game, we had someone else to fall back on. Um, and this year we've got some big hitters back, and I think we'll have a nice tight group there that we can count on. This group will be what I've noticed this summer. I'm trying to get communication out of them. They're just like a naturally just kind of more quiet kind of crew. And I'm really trying to push them to get out of their comfort zone in that situation. So that's something that we're working on right now.
So communication, as a lot of coaches bring up in whatever sport it is, communication is big. And in terms of volleyball, I would say maybe one of the more important sports where communication
Hmm.
is big, is you have 6 players in such a small group, and or a small space of
Yeah.
the court, if you will. So how big is communication, and how would you describe what communication is like in the game of volleyball?
Oh man, it's like you have to have that sixth sense almost with every single team member. You have to know, you have to be in their shoes. You have to know how that position is played. I stress to the girls, we communicate before, during, and after, like always, and I we had Coach Ken Merzak from Emporia State run our team camp this year, and he made a good comment about like eye contact and hand, like you touch, you have eye contact, and you verbal, so it's so important, and miscommunications, when the ball's perfect and there's a miscommunication between a setter and a hitter, that's just like a coach's nightmare. So it's super important, and we're just going to keep stressing on that and incorporate it into the drills that we do throughout the summer and fall.
So what does summer camp look like? Obviously when you practice, it's probably a little bit different, right? Maybe it's a little bit more laid back in the summer just to kind of see what you have, and what are summer camps like, to for you as a coach to understand what you have. What are summer camps like?
Yeah. Well, every 3 to 4 years, I like to bring in someone outside. I usually run my camp, but yeah, every 3 to 4 years, I like to bring someone in, and we brought an ESU coach in, and he kind of got us out of our comfort zone and made us think about some things maybe we hadn't thought about before. But normally it's like the camps are like intense, they're a high intensity level. But then we also do like open gyms every Tuesday. We do scrimmaging Wednesday evenings, and we have some, we go to the Kansas Classic tournament and scrimmage some great teams there. But yeah, I'm also just playing around with a whole lot of stuff all summer long, seeing who's up for the challenge. What do we have to work with? How are they meshing together? So yeah, there's a lot of just playing around a lot and just training, especially working on setter and hitter, connections, especially needing a new setter this year.
So for you, coach, what is it about your philosophy? If people don't know who Sarah Johnson is, what is it about your philosophy that
Mm.
people may not know about, or what you maybe really, emphasize, or things that you really work on? What is it about your philosophy that, people may not know about?
Yeah, I talk a whole lot about grit, just giving it your all and dealing with adversity and being there for one another. I'm also trying to just like the Silver Lake community, like getting like the best kind of females out there, like the ones that you want to hire, or the ones that are going to hire you, like they're going to be just BA women. And I'm proud to like be a part of this group of girls. And that's like, I just want them to know there's volleyball is just like an avenue, like just a key component of like getting to the next level, and doing something you love, and then instilling a lot of these characteristics that I hope, most of them come out with.
And you bring up something there where they had the alumni event a couple weeks ago where Coach Hamilton and Coach Kruger and Mitch Holtis, of course, the voice of the Chiefs, were there talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
all kinds of things, and what the Silver Lake community is like, and why it's so unique, why it's so different. And,
Hmm.
they brought up a lot the last couple of years of how women's sports have just really exploded, especially the last
Hmm.
couple of years. And knowing the rich history of Silver Lake, and whether it's football or basketball, softball, I mean, you can, the list goes on. What is it maybe just about the last couple of years that you've seen in the community where the girls' sports have just exploded? What is it about the community that just continues to excel and bring in talented athletes?
Yeah, well, we're making it more about women. Women's sports is exploding everywhere, and we're just they they know now, they have the confidence that they know that like they have the right to be in the weight room just as much as the guys do. They have all these options of weights and training and club sports and all that. So yeah, well, and I remember this has started ages ago. Like Silver Lake has just been a part of this. Like when I started back in 2008, I came to watch them work their summer training, and these girls were just like picking up and lifting tires. And I'm like, that's a program I want to be a part of. So it's in them, but it's now like just like we're just like pushing the envelope a little bit. So
And just how exciting is that for a coach to, like you said, you want to be a part of a program that wins. You want to be
mhm,
a part of a program that is supported by the community or
mhm,
administration or even the players, obviously. How
yeah.
does that motivate you as a coach when you have so many different pieces in the puzzle to push that
Mhm.
envelope, as you mentioned, forward more. So how much confidence or, adrenaline, if you want to say, gives it
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love the high expectations. I look like they're holding me accountable, and raising the bar and getting to that next level. And yeah, it's super motivating. You're around. You want to be like what I've heard something like the five people you're around, like that's average of who you are. So you want to be around top people, top like performing people, and just stand up kids and parents, and I've always been supported by the admin here, we've gone through a couple like different principals and such and AADs, and they've always had my back. They've trusted me that I've wanted the best for the girls and the program, and yeah, so it's motivating. I love it.
So, Coach, now looking towards next year, who are some
Mhm.
players that you can maybe highlight, or who should we look out for next year with Silver Lake Volleyball? And what excites you so much about this team coming up this year?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I've got three girls that are actually at nationals right now for volleyball. Alana Brewster, Ellen Boland, Jaden Wise. So those should be some top performers. I've got Jaylee Whitehead coming back, who was our DS. She should she should be filling the role of a libero spot. And then I've got some other Paige Hyman, who got some time last year, that should be a big role for us. I've got a couple setters that are in the works. Kylie Haney got a little court time last year. There's a senior who's recovering from injury that's also working on that setter DS role. So yeah, we've got some players that are ready to fill some spots. Even a freshman or two that could see some varsity time. So
And we know it's going to next season, and you got a couple of months and all that stuff, and scheduling and all that
mhm.
fun stuff. And just how excited are you to be able to coach another Silver Lake volleyball team and just to kind of,
Yeah.
you know, shuffle things a little bit? How excited are you just to be able to come into a new season as well?
Yeah, this is going to be a special season because we're, doing the league merger, and so we have a whole lot of new teams. We see them on occasion, at tournaments and such, but so that's going to be new, and I'm excited about that. Um, we also have, I don't know if you know this, we had to fill a C team freshman position, assistant coach, and we have Marissa Bates Griffin joining us. I've coached her. She's a former Silver Lake volleyball player. Went to Pitt State and was their libero for 4 years. And so I think that she's going to add so much value to our program, bring that high energy, high competitiveness to the program. So yeah, I'm excited, and we'll see how the league stuff goes, and it's going to be new. So I'm ready for it.
And another thing, I know this is not volleyball related, but also you guys are building the softball field, the new baseball field. You already got the turf
Mm-hmm.
football field. You bring in, a former, Silver Lake volleyball player. It just seems like
Mm-hmm.
every year there's something new with Silver Lake in a
Yeah.
good way, where they're trying
Yeah.
to improve things. And as a volleyball coach, or when you bring in a former player, just why is it, I know we hit on it a little bit, but do you think there's something with Silver Lake where they obviously you got Rossville, your rivals, and you got St. Mary's too. So is it,
Mm-hmm.
talking about where you just want to continue to be the best in that area and bring the best out of the athletes as much as you can?
Yeah, I mean, and Marissa coming back, I think it just says a lot about the community. She wants to pour back into the community that gave so much to her and gave her the opportunities. Yeah, I think it says something about the community for sure.
Well, Coach, is there anything else that I'm missing? I know we went over a lot of different topics of you going into next year, looking back at last year, the state tournament run, seniors, a lot of topics. Anything else that I'm
Mhm.
missing that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I know we lost a good core group, but don't look over the Silver Lake Eagles. We're excited for the new year. I've got some girls that are really pumped, and our goal is to make it back to state and win league, of course, the first year this league's together. So
Well, Coach, I really appreciate your time and doing this with me. Thanks so much, and
mm,
good luck here in a few short months.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.